Hello you guys and welcome back to VideoTalk. I'm Willy and I'm here at the beautiful Tampella beach to unbox some videos for you. And like the title says, I have a very good Arrow video box for you. But I will save it a little bit later. First I want to show you a couple of other packages that I have gotten. Hopefully you don't hear the rapids there roaring. I know that I have the microphone, but you never know. But if you are hearing a loud roar, it is the rapids, the Tampere Rapids, Tamme Rapids. Okay, first here I have a film that I actually ordered in order to get one movie that I want to see for my shitty comedy summer. I'm doing this video space channel, this Finnish channel. I'm doing their shitty comedies. And this is something that I have never seen, but oh boy, I'm looking forward in watching this. This is something called Inappropriate Comedy, and it's an episodic comedy movie, supposedly including very unpolitically correct humor, which I like, and some great cast starring Rob Schneider, Michelle Rodriguez, Adrian Brody and Lindsay Lohan. Okay, I have never seen it like I said, but I'm watching this for my shitty comedies because it will be the final chapter of that particular series. I will put the link if you wanna check it out. It has English subtitles in it. And another film for the shitty comedy summer, it is something called A Love Guru. Now, this was a donation of my Finnish-speaking channel watcher, and can't remember what was the name of the guy. It is Esa. Thanks to Esa. Another comedy film that I have never seen, but certainly I have heard about this. It is starring Mike Myers, the international man of mystery, and I hear that this is very bad. And it also came with this very hot Turkish pepper. Turkish pepper. Okay, it's a candy, but I already tasted one of these and oh man, it like blew my balls off, so I won't be eating that shit now. But Love Guru, tell me in the comments, have you seen it and what did you like about this crappy comedy? And then, okay, hey, this is a little bit more better film, not anymore a shitty comedy, but oh my god, yes, a steelbook 45th anniversary of Sam Raimi's classic The Evil Dead on 4K Ultra HD. Now, I previously already had me this previous 4K Ultra HD, but I hear that this has Dolby Vision in it, which the previous 4K disc doesn't have. So I'm looking forward in comparing that. Is this actually better looking version of The Evil Dead? Because Evil Dead, yes, it is a classic. Certainly a classic film, classic horror film, and this, I really do like the steelbook here. Well, isn't that nice? I think it's very nice that they have kept this original artwork, and in this other 4K, which I don't have with me now, but it is kind of like a bluish tint in it, but this contains this red tint in it, which is, I think, in my opinion, very much appropriate for the film. And it even includes a lot of extras. Now, the previous release, that wasn't necessarily like, I wouldn't call it poor on extras, but I think this has some new special features in it. So, yeah. Okay, I have seen Evil Dead like 100 million times, but I will certainly want to see it again, especially on Dolby Vision. So, that was one thing. And I paid for this, I think I paid 32 euros on this from CD-On, a Finnish web store. I think this was a donation, no, this was a 4 euro DVD, so not a bad price. No, not at all a bad price. Yeah. Okay, did I have something else? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, indeed I did. Okay, this bad boy is full of VHSs. And actually, I bought this guy, who I bought this from, I remember only buying one. So why this box is such a heavy box? Let me see. I only noticed the heaviness of the box only today. So let's see if there's some other goodies here as well. Okay, it's seemed to contain, it's, okay, I don't know what is this, but this was the film that I actually ordered. It is Sotilaan tuomio from Nordic Video. I don't think there's a DVD or Blu-ray of this. This is Death of a Soldier, starring Rep Brown and none other than James Coburn. So, okay, I really like Rep Brown films, and hopefully this includes Rep Brown screaming, but I understand that this is more like a drama film. But I have seen some clips of this and it looks kind of funny. Rep Brown kind of funny. So this is a Nordic Video release. It says here that it has widescreen picture 1.70 to 1. Okay, and many times these Nordic Video tapes are in poor condition because these are these made in Germany Agfa tapes. So these are not a good, what you call a good quality tapes. But hopefully at least the seller says that this is a workable tape. So looking forward in watching Death of a Soldier. Tell me in the comments, have you seen Death of a Soldier? And what comes to the heaviness of this package? There's books, actual books. Okay, Stephen King's Kolkuttajat, Tommy Knockers. I most certainly did not order any Stephen King books. And also there's Richard Bachman, Running Man, Juokse tai kuole. Okay, I don't know about Tommy Knockers, but I will certainly someday I will read The Running Man. Okay, thanks for the extra goodies in this package for the seller. So let's move into the Arrow video box set. Yeah. So as you may or may not know, there was an Arrow video sale. I grabbed a couple of things from the sale, and also I had some newer releases. Yeah. This was a sale picture, and for some reason I didn't get this earlier, but this is Michael Crichton's first movie, and of course it is Westworld. Now some of you may know this more better via the HBO series, but for me Westworld has always been this science fiction action film. It was from year 1973, and it is starring James Brolin, Richard Benjamin and Yul Brynner. For those who have seen the film might not forget Yul Brynner's performance as this Terminator-style robot, this kind of Western man robot who turns malfunctions and starts to hunt people in this theme world, theme park that is built for adult audiences, and there you can screw the robots and there you can also kill the robots, but something goes awfully wrong and the robots, they revolt. Okay, I already watched this again, and it's not my favorite 70s movie, no, but it has this kind of dystopian, eerie 70s vibe to it, which I very much like. It only has 4K Ultra HD, and I think the picture quality was pretty amazing. Okay, previously I had the Blu-ray of this, and this will knock it right off the park. I mean, the picture quality is very sharp, very shiny, very colorful, and appropriately 70s film-like. If you are a fan of 70s dystopian science fiction films and you have never seen this film, I think you should check it out. Now, some of you may like the series better, but I appreciate the simplest of this thing. It is nothing but like a robot hunting a guy, at least the last 30 minutes of the film. I think the first, 60 minutes of the film, it's kind of whimsical and kind of unnecessarily funny with all this whimsical music and kind of this like a western trope scenes. It's a bar fight and it's a visit to a brothel, but I think it is done with purpose. Now Michael Crichton, who was the director, I think he does this on purpose to kind of soothe you in this kind of like a innocent atmosphere, this kind of childlike adventure atmosphere, until it turns like prototype of the Terminator. Yeah, highly recommend it. And it comes with the booklet also, which I have not read, but in the usual Arrow video style we have some sort of essays about the making of the film. And this also included on the 4K Ultra HD disc interview with James Brolin and this Benjamin guy, Richard Benjamin. Unfortunately, Yul Brynner is not with us anymore. Haven't been, I don't know, at least for 20 years. But yeah, I will rate this film. I will definitely, not necessarily 4-star film, but a strong 3.5 stars. And the release, the picture quality, I will definitely rate it 4.5 stars. And the, yeah, not necessarily full of extras, but the extras, I will rate it 4-star extras. And it, by the way, this thing also included as an extra, it included the old TV show episode, Beyond Westworld. I think it is a pilot episode, but okay, that was done in the late 70s. And oh boy, that wasn't too impressive of a television series, but I watched it anyway. I think I have previously watched that too and didn't remember anything about that. Okay, so the poster retains this cool 70s artwork, and I don't think this is a bad artwork, but I think this is clearly the superior artwork. Next up is another sale title, but this is something that I have never seen. It's Salem Slot. I have opened it because I was gonna watch it, but something came up and then I didn't watch it. But Salem Slot is a Tobe Hooper film made for television. It's kind of mini-series, but they also made like a film version of it. So I have never seen Salem Slot in any shape or form. So tell me in the comments what to expect. Now I do know that we can expect some vampires, and people tell me that this is actually pretty good. But that remains to be seen. So this includes disc 1 original TV miniseries version. That is probably a version that I'll be watching because I want to see the complete cut. And maybe if I like it very much, maybe then I watch this next version. Another 4K Ultra HD here, theatrical version and the extras. Yeah, they tone it down from 3 hours to I think 90 minutes for the theatrical release. And yeah, that's a great addition to have both versions on this thing. And then obviously we have the poster. Maybe this is the original Le Notte di Salem. Okay, so this is probably like an Italian version, Italian poster. Yeah, nice. And then the original iconic poster. Now I do have had the VHS for quite some time and I have never actually watched it. And I know there's a sequel also, Return to Salem Slotman. Maybe I need to watch that sometime too. And hey, it even includes pretty thick booklet. For an Arrow video, this is 100 pages of tight Salem Slot facts and essays of Salem Slot. Yeah, lots of stuff there. So, also, I would appreciate your comments about the Salem Slot. Then next, I don't think this was a sale title, but this wasn't an expensive title. It's a Blu-ray of Sex and Fury and Female Yakuza Tale. So this thing includes two movies, Yakuza movies. Now I have of Sex and Fury, I have the Finnish DVD version. I have watched it like hundreds of years ago, million years ago at least. So I cannot comment it. But yeah, this is a double Blu-ray, so I think these are related in somehow. Following their genre-defining female delinquent classic girl boss guerrilla, director Norifumi Suzuki and action star Reiko Ike would join forces once again for the shocking sex and fury, pulpy and baited in lurid violence of the highest order. The film would beget the sequel, Female Yakuza Tale, directed by none other than the king of Ero Guru, Teruo Ishii. Okay, it's another Teruo Ishii film, yeah. I watched pretty much all Teruo Ishii that Arrow Video has previously released, and yeah, most of them were pretty good, but there were a couple of misses there. But let's see what Teruo Ishii has done with the Female Yakuza Tale. At least the cover looks very good. And I remember this Sex and Fury being a kind of violent and bloody Yakuza tale. So, haven't watched these again, but they may be very interesting. Next up we have here Peking Opera Blues, and I think this was a sale tape. It was 18 pounds. So, what is Peking Opera Blues? It's a film that I have seen, I think, a few times. I do have the older VHS in my collection, and I remember that this was advertised in Finland, at least. It was advertised that, yeah, this is a Chinese Indiana Jones. And when I watched it, I was a young boy then, and I watched it and I was, man, this is nothing like Indiana Jones. Go suck a carrot or something. But here we have the 4K Ultra HD of this thing. I have not seen this in the 2000s. So a 4K Ultra HD, and these are from this new Shout Factory batch that they did this cool restorations of. So I'm expecting the very good picture quality at least. But moving on, and this thing, yes, the Visitor. Yes, I have seen Visitor plenty of times, and this was also an offer film on sale. I think it was 80 pounds. I may be remembering falsely, but yeah, the Visitor, man, this is one trippy film. Even Sam Peckinpah is starring in this film. So it's about space Jesus, some sort of special telekinetic powers, and lots of weird things happening. I mean, basketball explodes, some weird birds hack the eyes out of this one guy, and in the end, oh my, you have to see it. I highly recommend this. It has great music soundtrack, and I think it's very well done film, technically. It's beautifully shot, and it's very inventive with the special effects. Now, it doesn't have like Hollywood style or quality special effects, but I think it's very inventive, and constantly, this film is constantly very interesting. So check out Visitor if you can. And this thing, this Arrow Video thing, now the picture quality is what? Top notch. Top notch. I would have never imagined that Visitor will get the 4K Ultra HD, Royal 4K Ultra HD Arrow treatment. And this thing includes a booklet too, which I think I would have to read this because, yeah, there's probably some crazy shit happening with this film. It was directed by, I don't remember the original director's name, but it was directed by Ovidio G. Assonitis, who is the producer guy, and he's notorious of even firing James Cameron from Piranha 2. Okay, highly recommended 4-star picture. Yeah. And one more film for you, and you know it was gonna happen. Of course, I had to get Falling Down. Now, it had been like, I don't know, at least 20 years since I had last seen Falling Down. I remember watching this many times from the television and also on the VHS. But for instance, on DVD, I never had this, and not on Blu-ray either. So I don't know why, but this was one of those films that I watched too many times, so I got bored with it. But now, after at least 20 years, I watched it again, and oh boy, this is a very cool 90s. I don't know, it's not an action film per se, it's a drama film. Michael Douglas is starring this guy called Defense, and one day, while sitting in the traffic in his car. He just gets enough and he goes out of the car and walks away, leaves the car on the road, and then he starts to roam through the Los Angeles to get in his daughter's birthday. Now, lots of things happen, and this is kind of like a, how would you say that? It's kind of like allegory of social shortcomings of the era. Mind you that this was made in 1993. It was the same year that the Los Angeles riots happened. I think it says here 1992, but Frederick Forsyth is my favorite character in this movie. He's like this weird Nazi guy and very unhinged Nazi guy. I think that dude should have his spin-off movie for sure. Yeah, it was great to visit this film again. I really enjoyed watching this again. And I was thinking while watching this that, my God, 90s was a great time because major studios like Warner Bros., they could make a film like this. Nowadays they wouldn't dare to make this type of film. This film would be like a independent film and maybe you could catch this on streaming or something. But the times definitely were different back then, and the language use of this, very racial language and very foul language is used in this film. You don't hear that kind of language nowadays in a studio movie, not that often at least, but 90s you could do this. Great performance by Michael Douglas and also Robert Duvall, who is the cop who is looking defense. Yeah. Rachel Ticotin from Total Recall. I recall her best from that movie, but great seeing her again in this movie also. Yeah, highly recommended, 4-star movie, and the presentation. While this film is not visually too impressive, in my opinion at least, but this delivers this kind of warm, very hot looking picture, and it's very appropriate for the tone of this movie. You can sense the sweat. It's very detailed. You can see the sweat dripping from Michael Douglas's forehead and all this kind of great textures in the clothing and textures in the like these crummy buildings and whatnot. Yeah, a classic from the 90s. I can recommend this. Yeah. But this was the lot this time, and hopefully you have been enjoying, and I thank you for watching and catch you in the next unboxing video or some other video. Tell me in the comments if you would like to hear some in-depth review of any of these, because I would certainly love to hear your comments and your enthusiasm about any of these films. But now, go watch a movie, because I certainly will. I will not watch this again, but maybe I certainly will watch this again. Bye bye.